Hey, this is Gray Fox, and today we're going to make this. And I'm going to show you how. Alright, so this is the Pathfinder knife kit that we got in the Battle Box Mission 22. So we're going to do a little bit of assembly, but what I did first was I took some Dawn dish soap. You can do wax and grease remover, whatever you want. And I cleaned it off so that there's no grease left on the blade. And now what I need to do is I need to assemble it essentially to see what I like and don't like about the shape of it if I want to change anything. So pretty easily done. You just take your barrels and pins and you throw them in there. Let's do the other side here. Just pop them in there. Sometimes it's easier to come through the far side. There we go. Alright, so there's that. And then we'll put the other one on. There we go. Come up with this one here. Here we go. Alright, so there we go. So this is essentially the assembled, unfinished knife. As you can see, there's a lot of extra material in here that we're going to need to remove to make it flush, and the pins have to be glued in and flushed out and all that stuff. So what I want to do is I want to put it in my hand and kind of get a feel for it and see what I like and don't like about it. Well, as you can see already, this is my natural hand position, which tells me that first, I really don't need a choil, because this kind of provides a natural choil with the generalized shape of the knife, how this is automatically kind of cut in right here. So I don't need to burr a choil into here or cut this out any further than it already is, nor do I need to put a forward one because it's just unnecessary. But what I do need to do is I do need to put some jimping right in here in this general area, so that I have a good positive thumb position. So yeah, so that's one thing I'm going to do. So all I'm going to do essentially is kind of mark this area as to where I want the jimping, and we'll go from there. Alright, so my neighborhood dogs want to make a lot of noise, so I apologize for that. But I've scribed kind of where I want my jimping at on here. So I've got marks on the blade itself. I put it in the vise. I always put a cloth in there just so that it keeps it from getting scratched up when you put it in the vise. But I put a small wheel on an air cutter. That way I'm not tempted to go too far in, because I just barely kind of want to hit it with this. And you got to be very careful with this, because you can go too far very easily. That's pretty much all I need at this point, because the rest of it I'm going to sand down. good. Alright, so I'm going to start with 220 on a DA sander, just because I want to see what kind of finish is underneath here. I might have to go more aggressive. I'm not sure yet, but until I hit it with something, I don't want to go too aggressive and not need to. So I'm just going to hit it with the DA and see what happens. It looks like I'm going to have to go slightly more aggressive to take all these marks out. Not much, but just a little bit to take out the factory marks. So let me go a little bit more aggressive and I'll come back down to 220. Alright, so this is 150. And 150 is a winner, it looks like. So if you hold it into the light, you can see like the little lines coming down from the factory marks from where they factory grinded it. So the goal is here to take out all these factory lines that I'm sure you can see on this side, all the little lines through here. You got to take all those out if you want to do what I want to do, which is a high polish. So I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. Alright, so this is what we get after 120 and 220. It's not perfect, but I think we'll catch some of it with the lower grits of sandpaper. Now I'm not removing anything from this area here because this area here is just going to be covered by the scales, and it'll help it with protecting it from the elements once we glue the scales down, if we have this stuff just kind of left there. So yep, that's that. Alright, so this is 220 DA and, well, 120 and 220 DA, and you can see it leaves like little swirlies in there from the DA. So what we got to do is kind of knock those out. So this is 400, and I'm just going to go over it with the 400 just to see if I can cut into a little bit of those. So when I'm doing a high polish axe, I have to go through this very same process, but it's much more difficult because this wasn't as bad to start with versus a cast iron style. So I'll come back once I get done with this. Alright, so now I have various pieces of wet sandpaper. So I have 1500, 1200, 1000, 800, that's what this is, and 400. So I gotta let it soak in the water. This is just warm water and Dawn dish soap. So this is where I got with the dry sandpaper. I got to here. So now I gotta take it from here to more of a shine. I gotta get rid of those scratches. So with the more aggressive stuff, I'm just going to kind of hit it. Kind of a little lightly out to 400. Anything I missed before is going to show up like a son of a gun. But for all practical purposes, I'm not going for perfect with this knife. It's going to be used as shit, but I want to show what you can do with it. This is so much easier than doing an axe. You'll feel how smooth it gets. It kind of starts to pull a little bit when you've gotten all the way through. And there we go. That's up to 1200 grit. Alright, at this point we're going to do some polishing. So first thing I got to do is clean off my wheels. I get some rouge on there. I'm going to start with the hard wheel. Alright, I'm going to work my way over to the soft wheel. And then I'll vary my pressure. So now I'm going to go the long way. She does want to catch. Gotta make sure you got a good grip on her. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rouge off. And soft wheel. Put on a different type of rouge. And there we go. Shiny knife. Alright, so now we've got our blade kind of where we want it. We've got the jimping on the back. We're happy with that. Now we got to put the handles on. So I prefer fiber fix, but you can use Gorilla Glue. You can use whatever you want. I can get this off. Yep. Because this stuff under pressure dries in like 30 seconds. But like any other glue, you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it tremendously. You want to smooth it out. Because any extra that you get all over the place, you have to, you're going to have to clean up. So Alright, there's that part. We gotta get some on the barrels. Get in there. Come on. There we go. All right. That. Now we know we gotta put some on here. That. I'm going to take my gloves off because I want to make sure I don't get any glue on anything. Shush. That should be fine. And that's that. Easy peasy chicken greasy. Alright, so this is what we got once it dried. And because I used that fiber fix, it doesn't take very long. Pins are in there nice and tight. So now what I have to do is I have to rough this thing out and see what we come up with after it's roughed out. So let's do that. First thing I got to do is take these pins down. I'm going to do it very, very carefully on the side here. Pins. Now we got to get the rest of this to kind of line up with the actual shaft. See, we're there on this section. We got to catch up with everything else though.
Alright, so now I'm going to take the DA sander. I'm going to go back over it. I'm going to touch up all the areas I couldn't hit before. Nice and flush. I am going to come back and hit it with a little bit lighter sandpaper, just so that when I'm going at this I can get rid of most of these scratches. Feels pretty good. This is 400. Alright, so my jimping is now inset. So it's flush with the metal here, but yet you can feel the jimping here, but only if you push your thumb down, and it's directly above the choil. So here's your, essentially your choil here, and then you can get your thumb on there, and then you can push down and you get a nice purchase, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, but yet it's not so obvious all the way down the blade. So yeah, pretty nice. I like it. Alright guys, so I can't just leave it like this. That just wouldn't make sense, right? All right. Come on. There we go. Good enough. Now we just let it dry. Now we got to make it a sly fox, right? Alright, so here we go. There she is in all her glory. Alright, so we're done, and what do I think? I think this is pretty badass. I like it. I did the inset jimping on the back, so you have a place for your thumb to sit. It looks really nice. I of course did a high polish on it, and it looks really cool. It's very comfortable in the hand. Great utility blade. You know, I really think I'm just going to go ahead and buy another one of these because super easy. Took me like maybe 2 hours tops, and that's with kind of waiting on things. But yeah, very cool. Really like it. Cool kit. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.